Dr. David Ajibade with the Brain and Body Foundation, and this is your health in your hands. I hope you are all keeping safe. You are following the NCDC instructions and directions, and ensuring that you are keeping healthy and boosting your immune system as well. Now, as you all know, one of the things that brought me into the States recently was sickle cell disease. In fact, sickle cell disease was the main thing that brought me into the United States because we're trying to start a research very soon. And in the time of my travels and going here and there, we found out, or we came across, a fantastic, I got to tell you, a remarkable discovery in the field of human potential and stem cell treatment that actually has been approved by the FDA, that's the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, specifically for COVID-19, to treat not just the acute, I hope I got that correctly, the actual disease, but also the lingering, long-lasting, long-term effects of COVID-19, which will of course include effects on the lungs, effect on other organs in the body. And I thought that was fascinating. What does that have to do with sickle cell disease? Well, that same approach, that same procedure, they are now using it all over the world, and especially in India. And I don't know if you know about this, but India is among the top 3 in the world when it comes to COVID-19. Of course, Nigeria is number 1. India is maybe number 2, or just 2 or 3. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, 3.
You think it's 3? Okay. So number 3 in the world when it comes to sickle cell disease. And I got to tell you, they are doing a lot of good work where that is concerned. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you the scientist behind this discovery. And we're going to be talking about how he is using it and the successes he has had and how it can be applied and how he's applying it in COVID-19. And probably at a later stage, we will talk about sickle cell disease. So looking forward to that. Dr. Anand Srivastava. Dr. Anand Srivastava is the chairman of the Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research, otherwise called JOSTAR, based in San Diego, California. This is a man who has held multiple positions, including the National Research Institute, Japan. He has a position in the National Research Institute of Japan and several positions in the University of California, San Diego, University of California, Irvine, and the University of California, Los Angeles. A lot of it has to do with stem cell and his work with stem cells. So Doc, thank you so much for coming on. You are welcome.
Thank you, Dr. David, and nice meeting with you. And this is wonderful talking with you about stem cell science.
Absolutely. I know this is your passion, and it's always great to have a passion that you can see actually come to fruition. You know, some people have a lot of passion. They're studying and they're working on it, but it doesn't see the light of day because for whatever reason, maybe there are restrictions or maybe funding is not there. But apparently, in your case, that is not the case. Besides, you're living in San Diego, which some have said is one of the most beautiful cities in the United States of America. How's the weather there?
It's very sunny and very good and quite nice city. Of course, as you told, this is the south and western coast and beautiful sea and weather, but it is more famous for its research institution and academic institution because almost all the topmost pharmaceutical companies are here, and this is the pharmaceutical hub of United States, you can say. And
is it really?
Yes, and why it is because it has University of California, San Diego, and it has, of course, that is medical school also, and it has Salk Research Institute. And if you know about these Salk Research Institute, where I also worked, and in the stem cell facility to manage that facility, and then it has Burnham Research Institute, which is medical institute. Again, it has Scripps Research Institute, and if you know Scripps, you know the DNA double helix like Watson and Crick. So a lot of Nobel Prize, Nobel laureates are here. And then, so Burnham, Salk, UCSD, that is University of California, San Diego. Mm-hmm. And scripts. So,
Scripts.
yeah, wonderful. And Salk made the first polio vaccine.
Yes, the was it the kill? That was a killed virus, right?
Yes, yes.
Typing came up with the attenuated one, but Salk came up with yes, and that was he established that institute afterwards, right? After he had discovered
Exactly.
it.
You are right.
Fantastic. So they have a lot of brain. There's a lot of brain power in San Diego.
Exactly, and that's what I worked almost every single institute, particularly with the stem cell science and gene therapy related projects. So
Gene therapy related products. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk. Like I said, I really want to hear about sickle cell disease and what you're doing with sickle cell disease. But COVID-19 is the theme of the day or the theme of the season. So let's talk about it. You have an FDA approval to treat using your approach people with COVID-19. That is fascinating in itself. Let's talk about that. How did you even get started with that?
So this is a wonderful story, in fact, and this is little really interesting. What happened in before coming to USA in 2000? I came to USA in 2000, like 20 years back, and I joined University of California, San Diego Medical School. And the interesting part of that my job was to develop in utero gene therapy for blood-related disease. And that's what we are talking, sickle cell. We'll talk sickle cell.
We must.
But the main job was to develop the gene therapy for the blood-related disease, and that two very important genetic diseases. That is, one is sickle cell anemia, and another was the thalassemia.
Thalassemia, okay.
Okay, and both are related with the beta globin gene. But point is that I was doing that, and then of course I saw a few things that you can change this gene when the baby is developing in the mother womb. So if you go in developing baby and change gene then and there, and then baby can form, but baby can born healthy baby. But seeing that thing, I was continuously thinking what maybe the proper way to do the things and more easier, because gene therapy is a little complex. Then the stem cell idea came in, then I started working on stem cell science. And the stem cell is the master cell of the body. Our entire body is in fact made of stem cell, each organ. Okay. Then I started thinking, if the body is made of stem cells, so is it possible to take out stem cell out from the body and clone the stem cell in the lab, or culture, we say in scientific language, culture those stem cells, multiply it and make it millions of stem cells. And then is it possible to convert these stem cells in different kind of organs or tissues, like blood tissue or brain tissues or whatever? So those are the stories which we may be talking after a few minutes again. So let's focus on your question, which is COVID-19.
Right.
So during that gene therapy process, I was thinking, is it possible to insert a foreign gene in developing fetus and program that fetus, like you program the computers, for some foreign virus, and if some virus is attacking to computer, your computer program neutralizes this virus, and you make your computer safe. So same way, I was thinking, is it possible to put some DNA or some gene in developing fetus, and then fetus born? So after getting in the real life, the fetus may counter some specific disease or not. That is called in utero vaccination, you can say. And the same process, in fact, right now, Pfizer and AstraZeneca are using to make this vaccine, that is DNA and mRNA vaccine, which I published in 2005 from University of California, San Diego, 15 years back. And the general name was vaccine. And that is one of the top journal in the field of vaccine. But I did exactly the same thing what Pfizer and AstraZeneca is doing right now.
Doc, sorry, at this point we need to take a break, because we'll usually because I don't want us to lose this thought. So we're going to take a short break, folks.
Great.
Don't go away. We're going to deal with what Doc is going to talk about very, very soon. See you in a little bit. right, welcome back. We are here with Dr. Anand, and we are talking about his fascinating discovery and what he's now using it, how he's using it to address COVID-19. So, Doc, this is fascinating. Please continue.
So, when this COVID-19 came in the picture last year, and in US actually we started learning in around February, more prominently, though we were knowing that some kind of virus, this COVID-19 is there. And so I immediately started thinking how to really manage it, because there is no vaccine. A lot of people were going in the hospital all around the world, including US. And the US system is very scientific and very methodological, and they do not want to give any medicine just to counter anything unless they really know the solid scientific background. And I was also thinking, then fortunately I was working on this mesenchymal stem cell, and I was knowing that this particular mesenchymal stem cell really suppress all bad cytokines and pro-inflammatory gene actions also, because we have treated several patients at India and Mexico, where I have our hospitals and lab. So I was knowing that this suppress the TNF alpha and IL-6, IL-7, all these cytokines, bad cytokines, we say, that is pro-inflammatory cytokines. Mm-hmm. So I thought, why not we may use immediately, because of course vaccine is ultimate, okay? And we may get vaccine eventually, but in February, we were not knowing what time we will get vaccine.
Right.
Then I thought, let's talk to FDA, US FDA, because it is emergency situation. And whatever we have, we must counter. Whatever kind of weapon we have to counter this enemy. So I wrote to FDA and I told this is the stem cell, this is the mechanism. And we also knew, and thanks to all those scientists who work very quickly to know exactly what is going on when this virus, that is SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is entering in the body, and what kind of cytokine storm it is triggering. So we knew that, and that's the spectrum. So we came to know that this is the spectrum of cytokine. So the point is that when there is a spectrum of cytokine, then you cannot give a specific kind of antibody to suppress or neutralize that particular antigen, okay, or that cytokine. If it is one or two, yes, you can give one or two and it will be neutralized. Because it was in spectrum, so I thought, why not to use this mesenchymal stem cell? And this mesenchymal stem cell basically crosstalk with the pro-inflammatory cytokine. And whatever the cytokines are, pro-inflammatory cytokines are up, it secretes those anti-inflammatory cytokines to neutralize that in the body. This is the natural behavior of the system cell, in fact.
Wow, so it secretes the exact neutralization factor for each of the cytokines that are produced by the viral activity. Is that what you're saying?
You are right. You are right. Because virus is going and triggering very strong inflammatory reaction, and those cytokines are getting secreted and creating a lot of inflammation, and that's what the lung has edema and all this problem and severe respiratory distress syndrome.
Right.
Okay.
And Doc, just real quick here, we'll show the picture that you sent us, and of course we've discussed with our audiences how this damages, these cytokines damage the lungs and the heart and their tissues. But I think it's good at this point to show this picture. So I'm sure that we'll show that. I also wanted to quickly say, folks, that we've talked about inflammation a lot. I want to insert in this point that this is all the more reason why you need to ensure that your inflammatory levels are low, even before you have COVID-19. And we know that diabetes, if you have cardiovascular disease, if you have any kind of chronic disease, it raises the level of your inflammation. And the more the level of your inflammation is, and if you have COVID-19, if you already have high levels of inflammation, it will only make it worse. especially if you have things like diabetes and obesity and things like that. So just to further stress that point, that inflammation is what must be combated, whether you have COVID-19 or not, but especially now that if you have COVID-19. So go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so important is, so I'm going to share my screen with you because you wanted to know that what are the mode of infection, how this cytokine storm is there, and then how this particular mesenchymal stem cell may help in reducing those things. So let me share my screen to you.
Okay. Are you able to? Yes.
Okay. So of course, this is very complex signaling pathway for general people, but I'm going to make it more simple for everybody to understand. So, and this is showing the part when the virus infecting, and then how this mesenchymal stem cell really suppressing the effect of virus. Because there are two ways to suppress the bad effect of virus. First is like you kill the virus. Killing the virus is, of course, the vaccine or neutralizing the virus itself. So there is no virus, there is no problem.
Right.
Now, another way, just virus is coming in your body, but you confine the effect of virus. Okay, like you do something. So whatever virus is trying to do or creating the negative or bad effect on your body, neutralize those effects. So even the virus is there, it cannot do anything because there is no bad effect. Okay. So and virus has a specific life cycle. So after some time, if you stop the bad effect of the virus is going to go out anyway.
Right.
So person is safe. So this particular mesenchymal stem cell is really the idea and philosophy is to confine the virus effect. So even the virus is there, but you chain the virus. Basically, you chain the virus. So virus cannot do anything, though it is inside the body. So I'm just trying to explain it very easy way. So this is basically a lung, you can say the alveoli, okay, lung cell. And so this green color, if you see here, this is the virus, SARS-CoV-2, okay, the COVID-19 virus. So what happened, there is alveolar cell, lung has different kind of cell, alveolar cell, like type 1, type 2, type 1 and type 2. So if you see this green color here, this is the virus, okay? So what happened, there is type 1 alveolar cell in the lung and type 2 alveolar cell. The thanks God that it infect only type 2 alveolar cell. Why it infect only type 2 alveolar cell? Because this particular alveolar cell has a specific kind of receptor called ACE2 receptor. Okay. So this virus goes and bind to this ACE2 receptor, and we know very well now, and like S protein of virus, very famous as scariest protein of the virus. Everybody knows now, oh, this virus has S protein, which is very scary. Why? Because that is the protein which bind to the cell. So virus can bind to the cell receptor, and then it can go inside the cell to create all these problems. So anyway, so here the virus with ACE2 receptor alveolar type 2 lung cell and goes inside, and it does the specific kind of life cycle, which is called lytic cycle, where when it goes, take over your cell system and multiply and kill the cell and come out with millions of cells. So what it does, it goes and does the tissue injury because killing, okay, and then infiltrate to other cells from there, okay. Then what happens once it happens, our own immune system immediately try to basically neutralize it. I try to manage it. So a lot of neutrophil, monocyte, all these things come inside and start secreting a lot of pro-inflammatory cytokine, which is you can see IL-6, IL-8, TNF-alpha, like tumor necrosis factor alpha, all these things, okay? Right. And then this also, this monocyte changes here, which is doing all these things, bad cytokines. So now this is happening here. Here you can see this is same thing is shown much detail this side, like IFN, gamma, TGF, beta, TNF alpha, all these things for myofibroblast differentiation and do the lung fibrosis. The fibrosis means the lung is now not having elasticity, okay? Like fibrosed, it's unable to expand. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you see how lung get damaged basically. And then a lot of fluid, because of these things, a lot of fluid comes inside the lung also, because of this immune reaction, that inflammation and pneumonia and all these things. So now, here, if you inject now mesenchymal stem cell, which is here, you can see, which is here, okay? Because it's so complex, so I'm just trying to make it two different way here. So if you inject, it blocks, when you say like this, it is blocking all these cytokines. Okay, and then it also giving better monocytes. Okay, so it what it does is this mesenchymal stem.
So we'll be right back, Doc. All right, folks, welcome back to Your Health in Your Hands. And we are talking about the fascinating study, not a study now, this is an application on how mesenchymal stem cells can treat COVID-19 under the FDA supervision, under FDA approval, excuse me. So, Doc, yes, you had one more point you wanted to address, to give us.
So I was talking that, so this affects us three way basically: blocking, neutralizing all these bad cytokines, repairing the damaged lung cells, and also clearing the fluid from the lung. So basically, this is and still the virus is there, but it doesn't matter, okay? Because virus is now confined; its effect is confined, and it can go after completing its life cycle, because lung is fine, and patient once it is done, then person is fine. So seeing this, and this is the science behind that. So I wrote to FDA that why not to use the mesenchymal stem cell to neutralize, and I really thankful to US FDA. They are very quick and they understood it, and they are asked, of course, few questions related to the safety of because the patient safety is very important, and which I explained them, and they immediately approved for the compassionate use for the emergency patients. And I'm very proud and happy to report that we treated few patients, and I will share with you one of very severe patient who was almost under coma because of the COVID-19, almost for 60 days, 60, and we brought him back. And so I'm going to share that video with you.
Okay. Oh, that'll be fantastic. That'll be something to really, really look at. So what we'll do, Doc, is that when we have the video, we'll put it on our website, and of course the NTA website as well. Of course, folks, our website is the brainandbodyfoundation.org, brainandbodyfoundation.org. If you're interested in watching this video, please go to that site. And of course, if you need to contact Dr. Anand about this, his information will be available as well. But Dr. Anand, quickly, how is the best way people can contact you?
Yes, it is as our institution name is GIOSTAR, GIOSTAR.com. Anybody can visit there, and contact number is there. And
okay,
they can write, and certainly I'd be more than happy to respond and answer their questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doc. Final thoughts?
So this is the great, and then we can come on our next point, which is very, very interesting. Again, as I told, the post-COVID patient, the patient are when the patient are having COVID infection, and after treatment, even they're because of the treatment, but their organs are compromised and not functioning at normal or optimal level, you can say. And particularly for those patients who are little elderly, their lungs are compromised and they are unable to breathe properly, or they are unable to perform their day-to-day life function. So how to manage those people? And that's what I published this paper that is that came in the stem cells review and report in last year. And of course, there is another paper, Thorax, which is not my paper. This is from Marta, and this is wonderful paper also. So this particular this like signaling pathways and all these things taken from here. Okay. So important is that how to manage those, because when the organs are damaged, how to manage that? Because now person is out of COVID. So I'm quickly going to say and tell you how this mesenchymal stem cell helps that also, because I told you that mesenchymal stem cell even repairs these damaged lung cells. Okay, so let's see how it goes for so.
Doc, we are out of time for this one, so we're going to hopefully in the next program we're going to talk about how this mesenchymal stem cells can actually address damage to the organs and tissues of the body. So thank you so much. And we shall be back, folks. Stay tuned. Next week we shall be back. And remember, stay safe. God bless.